Welcome everyone to today's Women Who Own Their Worth interview series. As a reminder, this series is meant to interview women who are not only owning their worth, but also helping other women own their worth as well. As you may know, I actually looked last night, over the last 5.5 years, I've shared 17 times in this group about liquid collagen. I love this product. I found this product in 2017, and I've been using it since, sharing it since. I've seen a lot of my clients and customers get amazing results with it. And so I really feel it's an important time to talk about this. I have brought in the expert on liquid collagen, so that you could understand how to navigate this whole collagen craze, because it's exploded in the last few years. And I wanted to bring somebody in to help you navigate. I hear a lot of women say, I've been checking out different collagens. What do you recommend? And so I'm going to bring in Dr. Cherie today, Dr. Cherie Lechner-Lunato. She's lovingly known as Dr. Cherie. She doesn't make you call her Dr. Cherie, but everybody calls her Dr. Cherie, right, Dr. Cherie?
It's true.
So I'm going to read a little bit about Dr. Cherie, and then we'll dive in about this whole collagen craze. Dr. Cherie is also known as the Human Alignment Specialist. She uses her over 33 years of chiropractic experience treating families, along with her training in acupuncture, functional medicine, Zen body therapy, injury prevention, and energy medicine to help you become the best possible you can be. She is a mom with a teenage son, and she runs 2 businesses. She's a multipreneur. She serves with a huge heart, lots of love, and is committed to healthy, happy families. Dr. Cherie has treated many professional athletes, from Joffrey ballet dancers to pro golfers, marathoners, and triathletes, not to mention the little leaguers and gymnasts. So cute. She is a collagen lover, an expert, and has the joy of seeing the benefits personally and professionally of this liquid collagen for over 12 years. Welcome, Dr. Cherie.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy that you're here. I will be looking at my phone. You'll see me in a little bit. All I'm doing is checking to see if anybody has questions on the Facebook page. And so that's what I'll be doing if you're talking and you see, I'm not ignoring, I'm actually with you. I might take some notes too about some awesome things you say. So first of all, let's just dive in about liquid collagen. And so can you share a little bit about your background, how you found liquid collagen? I know I've heard you say before about this being the best product you found. And so can you share a little bit about how did you find this? What was that all about?
Absolutely. So I practiced with Dr. Dorothy Sprecher at the Northeast Ohio Institute for Functional Medicine for more than 15 years. So we co-treat patients, and we have separate practices, but we're in the same building. And Dr. Dorothy actually is the person who brought the product into the practice. So here's what happened. And I don't normally find products this way, but Dr. Dorothy was looking at a woman's x-rays of her knees that were just destroyed at 34 years old, and wishing that she had something to help her and to have prevented it. And mind you, we have over $30,000 at any given time of the best natural supplements and nutraceuticals that you can buy, right? And there's nothing. This was back in 2011. There was nothing, right? And she said she felt this prayer in earnest come from her heart and just said, Lord, please show me something. And no joke, 12 hours later, she gets on a plane, and her friends sit next to a man, and her girlfriend is sitting in the middle seat. She goes, oh, what do you do for a living? He goes, oh, I'm a marketing rep for a new, exciting liquid nutraceutical that restores damaged joints. She's like, what did you just say? And they switched seats and had a conversation for 4.5 hours. So before she got off the plane, she had already ordered the product because it was all backed by science. Then I see this, imagine chiropractor, and you see a little brochure with a joint on it. in a bottle. I'm like, ooh, what's that? Right. So I actually, asked, and it was very funny because at the time, the way the product was marketed, I wasn't open. So I kind of went, oh, whatever. And I started to walk, and I always joke it was Archangel Michael wouldn't let me over the threshold. I just couldn't. I go, so how'd you hear about it anyways? And she says in this little Georgia voice, well, I said a little prayer. And I'm like, dang it. No joke. I stomped all the way up the stairs to my office. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to, and I researched backwards, forwards, every clinical trial, 2 months, couldn't find nada. It was flawless. And then the rest really is history. And I put my mother-in-law on it because I was nursing at the time. I didn't know if it was safe for a nursing mom. Now I know it's totally cool. And my mother-in-law had extraordinary results that I actually had like a brain break, because she had a result that I would have been impossible. If you had told me, I would say that's absolutely impossible. And that is, honest to God, the truth. And my mother-in-law will tell you, you cannot take her product till the day she dies.
Wow. So you were a doubter at first.
Absolutely.
Because
I'm skeptical. I'm always cautiously. I only use products that are highly vetted, that are backed by science. I'm not easily swayed. I've been in this business a long time. I know all the junk that's out there. So I use proven products that work and get results and that are clean, period.
Okay. It makes sense. I'm actually quite skeptical myself. I don't have a medical background, but I have an environmental background, an academic background. So I understand chemicals and poisons and non-poisons. And so I was actually quite skeptical as well, and did a lot of research, and took me quite some time to really to step in. Are you able to share at all what your mother-in-law experienced?
Oh, absolutely. So mom was 69 at the time. And she had horrible hand issues. So she couldn't open water bottles, button buttons, close her hands all the way. She was 9 out of 10 in discomfort in her hands and her feet. Her feet were so bad that she had worked on a factory floor for 40 years. And if she when she got up in the morning, if she didn't massage her feet on a pillow, she'd fall down. She had to actually work her feet to be able to get up and go. And her whole body was in discomfort, right? And I remember her thumbs, and she had nodules on her hands, right? And her thumbs, she had 5 degrees of flexion. That was it. And no joke, 2.5 weeks, she could open a water bottle. That was her first goal. And she was so excited because it was at a barbecue, and she was able to open her water bottle, but her sister-in-law had asked for help. So she's like, woo, right? And then at 5 weeks, we're on the back sun porch. And this is when I told you, there's like, no, I saw her thumb do this. I go, get that out of here. No way. So I went and I go, give me that thumb, because my brain was like, because there had been hard nodules on both sides. They were soft, and her thumb was doing this. And then at 6 weeks, she could pop right out of bed and go. And at 8 weeks, she could close her hands all the way, and her whole discomfort in her body was 5 out of 10. And at 90 days exactly, and I'll never forget, see, it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate, because I love her. I won the lottery with mother-in-laws. And since my mom's been gone for 16 years, she has loved my son and I double, right? So very blessed. But at 90 days exactly, which is the clinical trial period, because this is backed by clinical trials, solid, rock solid science. She called me up and told me that she had no discomfort in her whole body. And so even 12 years later, I can't tell that story without getting moved, because she's such a beautiful human being and loves her family. And for her to have that freedom and to have that mobility and to have no discomfort was the greatest blessing. And I had no idea, right? And at 12 weeks, there was a channel running through where it had moved. I mean, because this was solid.
Wow.
Right. So it literally blew my mind. And I've never seen, I truly can honestly say it is the best product I have seen in my career for joints, bones, skin, and overall health. And Dr. Dorothy will tell you the same. We still jaw drop 12 years later, at least once a week. I hear a story that an animal or a human, I'm like, it never gets old because it works and it's effective. Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned animal or human. Can you share maybe a few more examples? I want to dive into next why this is different, but can you share just a couple more examples of what you've seen in your 12 years?
Absolutely. Well, even just recently, my dad's neighbor, who's a Johns Hopkins researcher and a retired Navy spy pilot. And when he found out about it, because he saw my father power washing his house, cutting his trees, doing his lawn, he thought my dad was like late 60s, maybe 70. He almost fell over when he found out my dad was 80 because he has a full head of hair and no wrinkles. Right.
Yeah. So your dad, I just got to butt in real quick. Yeah. Sometimes people think your dad is like your boyfriend or husband or something, right?
Yeah. If I'm out with my son, I literally have to say pops or dad because they all think he's my boyfriend or my husband. Yes.
It looks so good. Okay. So keep going about this spy pilot. Navy spy pilot. I love this story.
Yeah. And so, and being a Johns Hopkins researcher, he researches, right? So he read all the science. He's like, triple thumbs up, like totally valid. And so he got on the product. And one of the things is that he'd had one knee replaced and he didn't want the second one. And he was due to have it in December. This is actually a year ago, August. And he'd had spinal fusion because of being a, spy pilot. You jump out of planes, you trash your back with landing, right? And, so he walked with a limp. But the thing I noticed when his wife was doing gardening, he couldn't bend over like we would bend over because of that. So we got him on the product. And 5 days later, it's so funny. He calls me. He goes, I'm not going to need that knee replacement. But his nephew-in-law that lived next door, they rode their motorcycles to Walmart because he was watching him to see if he wanted to take it. And he watched him get off the motorcycle and he goes, hey. And Bruce turns around and goes, what? He goes, you're not limping like an old man. You're walking normal in 5 days. Right? So not only does he not need a second knee replacement, his knee is fine. It gave him mobility back in his back that he didn't have after surgery. And he rides the Peloton bike like nobody's business. And he's 70 years old and beats the 30 and 40-year-olds because he's going hard because he was also a champion athlete for an hour and a half. And he beats them all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. And same thing with his wife. It restored her. She had had some issues and joint issues and a condition that inflames all your joints, and nothing had worked for 12 years and a month and a half. She was a new woman.
This is amazing. So we know that a lot of people are suffering from inflammation around the joints. A lot of suffering are in the back. And so you're telling stories of people just recently, and we know you have lots and lots more. Let's dive in. Yeah, I'm excited about this. For anybody who's suffering, we can support them. And anybody who's even not yet suffering, we can help them. Right. Can you tell, so there's this whole collagen craze now. Like there's, collagen. All these companies are coming out with collagen, right? Yeah. Can you share in particular why this particular product, I said particular twice, that's funny.
Yeah.
Why is this product better than the other products on the market? And I've actually brought in some bottles of it. So if anybody wants to see it, we can show it later. But yeah. Can you share, like, what are the reasons, what makes this particular product different than the other ones?
Sure. And that's a great question. And I do want to just point out too, that I had mentioned about animals, that we have a pet version, right? For cats, dogs, and then an equine version. And that's worked on 100% of the animals I've given it to in 12 years. Well, actually 10 years, because that's how long it was on the market later. And didn't matter if it's a skin, coat, or joint issue, right? And so we know there's no placebo effect, because you can't tell the animal, you're going to feel better if you take this. It works. So, and there is a collagen craze. Part of it is every company now, so this was the original collagen on the market way back when, 13 years ago. And the only liquid, right? So that's one of the reasons. First of all, our company actually started the collagen movement, right? Actually began it. And so created the bandwagon, if you will. So every company now is trying to create a collagen product and hop on the bandwagon. The issue is that not all collagens are created equal, and they're not all clean. It's rampant in the industry, and companies just want a piece of the pie. So they don't really care. Some are going to have more clinical effectiveness, but they don't really care. They just want their piece of the pie, and they want it in their portfolio of products, if you will, because it's becoming a demand. Because now that people are seeing what collagen does, because we get depleted. That was the teenage son, by the way. So we get depleted as we age, and we stop producing collagen at age 40. But actually, they're saying it's at critical levels at age 30. And here's what's fascinating that I just learned, and I'm going to answer this question, but this is why it's so critical, especially for women, is that it's also ramps where our estrogen starts to go down. So actually, one of the new things they're seeing and that they're proving is that collagen supplementation with the right collagen, right, will actually mitigate the issues that come with estrogen decline, which is amazing.
Wow.
Amazing, right? And this is what I've seen. Now there's the science, right? So I've seen all of this for the last 12 years. But the reason this is so special, it is not a collagen. It is a collagen hyaluronic acid matrix, and you cannot compare it to anything on the market in the world because there is nothing else like it. It is unique. It is the only one. I like to call it the golden apple, and every other product is an orange. Okay. And liquids are always going to be more bioavailable. The issue with the powdered collagen, especially, is the molecule can be very big. And even if they hydrolyze and they say it's broken down, you're going to have to take 2 scoops, like up to 20 grams a day, which is really hard on the gut. We take 2 tablespoons a day. It goes right into the tissue because of the patented molecule size. The company did the research to find the sweet spot in molecular absorption for humans. So nobody else can make this molecule size. They can get close, but they can't. They can't do it.
I'm going to simplify what you just said. So anybody who's not doesn't understand this language, I'm going to just re-say it in a different way so everybody can. So what she's saying is, and there's more here, but what this particular piece is that this product has a technology that creates the appropriate molecule size so that the body can absorb it and not have, what I always like to say, it's like we're not taking it and peeing it out a bunch, taking it and making the body process a whole bunch of stuff. So bioavailable means that the body can easily absorb it. And so, I keep hearing, Dr. Cherie, I've heard from a couple different friends their companies that they're associated with have come out with products, and the lingo that they're using is, well, this isn't just a collagen product, it's promoting the production of collagen in the body. So can you speak to that, taking collagen versus taking collagen and then the promotion of the collagen, and there's different kinds of collagen and all of that?
Yeah. So one of the things, though, I wanted to say about the molecule size, just to give you an image, okay, is that most collagens are like throwing a football at a chain link fence and expecting it to go through. It won't fit. Mm-hmm. But if you take a golf ball and you throw it, it goes right through. So that's liquid biocell. It's the golf ball. Okay. So just to give you that visual. And the difference is also we have the research, we have the clinical trials, and they're all third-party reviewed. There's no fox guarding the hen house here. They're legit, real trials that prove that not only does it stimulate the production of type 1, type 2, and type 3 collagen, even though it's only type 2. We don't need 10 types of collagen to get the clinical effect, right? We know it's supporting all collagen types in the body, okay? Because the body sees it as its own, because in addition to that molecule size, It's also in a specific molecular structure that when it goes into the body, it goes, oh, it's mine, because it's almost identical to our own joint cartilage and skin in ratios of collagen, hyaluronic acid, glycosaminoglycans, and chondroitin sulfate. Because in the matrix, collagen is never by itself. And this is particularly very special because many of those collagens that you hear about come from cow hides, pig snouts, hooves, skin, scales, bones. Okay, and many of them are not clean. And they're not even tested to be clean because bones, for example, are full of lead and heavy metals in animals, and they're not organic animals, right? So who knows what they ate, all the candy and everything else that they fatten up cattle with, and that gets into the hides. And so it's not clean. So ours comes from the tip of the wishbone of the sternal cartilage of the chicken. So that clear thing in between the breast of the chicken, but it's the only place in nature that you will find this particular ratio is in that tip of the wishbone. And that's it. They don't use anything else. And because there's no nerve tissue, there's no blood supply, it hasn't been exposed to anything the animal has in its life. And they're all non-GMO, clean. It is pure, very, very pure. And it's broken down into the polypeptides, which means they're little small fragments that our body can go, oh, I can use it. So how I liken it is that as we age, we have a cupboard of collagen and hyaluronic acid, right? So hyaluronic acid, we lose from the day we're born to the day we die. So think about a newborn baby sitting in great granny's lap. The newborn baby is plump and squishy and oh so cute. And great granny is depleted of hyaluronic acid and collagen, wrinkled, dried out, and hunched over and frail. That's the natural process of aging. So her cupboard got bare. The body didn't have any more molecules to do what the body does. So when we take our liquid biocell, because it's number one, almost 100% bioavailable, because it's a liquid and because of the molecule size and because of the molecular structure, the body takes it in. It goes right in. It actually, I remember when I toured the factory just 3 months after I became, because I wanted to make sure I have to do that. If I'm promoting something and putting my name and my reputation, I need to know that it's good, right? So I actually went and toured the factory, and they told us that when you drink it, by the time it hits your stomach, it's almost 100% absorbed. It starts to wick through the esophagus as it goes down because it's just goes right into our cells. Right. And so that's why when you drink it, if you swish it around in your mouth, it's going to help put bone on your teeth. It's going to increase the bone in your jaw. It's going to firm up and feed those gum tissues. Lots of people have dental and oral, health improvements because of that. And then it goes in, and we know it gets in because it's actually clinically proven to increase the hyaluronic acid levels in the blood by 6,000% in just 28 days with twice daily ingestion.
Let's say that again. Say that again. So hyaluronic acid is like the water. I always think about like the water in the cells of the body. So it will, you think about that grandma and the baby's all juicy and watery, and the grandma's all kind of crickety. And so that hyaluronic acid, this is a collagen product, but it's got hyaluronic acid and more, and it's the only place in nature you can find this. Yeah. So 6,000% in 28 days. I just want everybody to capture that, because when you have something that can that quickly increase the amount of what I, simplify it as is water, it's hyaluronic acid, but promoting water in the cells of the body, imagine what's possible when we're more fluid.
Yes. Right. And and then it gets into every cell because of that. So it floods our cells, and hyaluronic acid is everywhere in your body. There's water. So your eyes, your hair, your skin, your nails, the fluid in your joints. It's a medical breakthrough. Dr. Lewis Brady said that. He was an orthopedist for 50 years. He taught at Emory University, even when he was 90 years old, right? Mm-hmm. He did everything to get this message out because they tried for 50 years to increase the fluid in the joints. That's why when people get injections, that molecule is large. It cannot stay in the body. You pee it out. So if it's not the right molecule size, we eject it. Same thing when people get shots in their face, hyaluronic acid. By the way, if you get shot, you're going to save so much money going on this product, and it's going to every skin cell in your body and all your organs and all your bones, and you're going to save money. Because I watched my 70-year-old friend 11 years ago and what happened in a year, and she saved money, and it was amazing what happened.
Well, I can, testimonial for that. I've been to plenty of the conferences where the women who have been on this for years and years, and the way they look is amazing. And I have been taking it for about 5.5 years now, 5 years, somewhere around there. And I can definitely see, I have people tell me like, you look like you're aging backwards. I'm like, I know it's so powerful. And we've seen so many people. I mean, Paris, look at her hair. Have you seen her hair lately? Oh my God. I'm like, what? Her hair is like, just amazing. So one question that I get a lot is, because I'm connected with a lot of people who eat plant-based diets, and I'll get, this question of, is it vegan? So can you speak to, you mentioned the source of it already. We know it's not vegan. And I'm a big, plant-based nutrition person. So I'm super, I honor wherever anybody is in their food journey. Everybody's different. I don't think there's one way for anybody personally. Yeah. So can you speak to like vegan collagen versus this collagen and
Well, first of all, you're right. There is no vegan collagen, and, plant strong is the way to be. Plants are our friends, right? So we need plants, and we need to be eating plants. It's critical. But plants do not have collagen. And I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care what's on the label. They're trying to get you. There's collagen boosters, but they will not increase your bone cells, your cartilage cells, your skin cells. Liquid biocell will. It's proven. We have the science, right? And that's a big deal, right? You want to be growing bone cells at 60. And honestly, I got to tell you, this is not to knock anyone, but we see so many women in our clinic that have been vegan or vegetarian, and they didn't do it properly. And even if they did, their bones are suffering. We have women who didn't do it properly at all, and they're crumbling. They're literally crumbling because they're so brittle. So what I love, and I have many girlfriends and many friends that are vegan and vegetarian. It all depends where you are in your philosophy. But because it's clean, and we know that we're using a part that would have been thrown away. So it's a way of using every part of the animal, because we used to eat nose to tail. It's one of the reasons our diets were suffering. We used to live to 700 years old, right? Way back when. It's because we ate everything in nature, right? And so we need that. So what I find is when you supplement with the collagen, it's like the structure in the bones that the minerals go on. So like my 80-year-olds bounce and they don't break.
Yes.
Over and over and over again, because like babies don't break bones because they're green, they're flexible. So it puts the flex back in our bones. And as we age, right, everything goes south. And I always like to say, when you drink your liquid biocell, it goes north again. Right. And those nursing moms, those girls, they're going to get back in line.
Yep.
And deserts down in the vajayjay, that's going to change. I'm just being real straight here, because we're in Women Who Own Your Worth, right? And that is going to change how you age and how you experience life and the quality of your life. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to experience dryness and brittleness in your body and in your sacred parts. You can actually be fluid and juicy and bendy. Like I love, you said, they don't break, they bounce. And I know I've heard that from many people that have been on this product. So I really appreciate that confirmation about the vegan collagen and what's different, because I get that question a lot. Now I know that you provide for women and a metabolic reset program. Is that the correct language?
Yes. Yeah.
So would you be open to sharing a little bit about that program as well, and then how liquid collagen relates?
Absolutely. Yes. So let me see how I want to weave all that together. But the metabolic reset is amazing. So I work with women anywhere from 30s to 70s and above, right? With restoring and rebooting their bodies, because I had the experience of always being the same weight, except for when I tried to get pregnant. I was pregnant, not pregnant for 3.5 years. And I finally had my son. Right. And then fast forward to menopause. And even though I eat clean and eat organic, it was like I put on 25 pounds in 2 years. And it was like, what the heck happened to my body? It's like it wasn't mine anymore. And it didn't matter what I did. If I starved myself, if I exercised like crazy, didn't matter what I did. Nothing would budge. And I used to joke that if I looked at food, I'd gain 3 pounds. And if I did gain a pound, it would take 2 weeks to get it off, like crazy. Right. Yeah. So what we look at is I have about eight different pillars, if you will, that we look at. But the main thing we're working with is the nervous system. So in my reset, it's 8 weeks long, and we have a release phase for 6 weeks, and women lose anywhere from 10 to 30 pounds in 6 weeks, and they keep it off forever. And their body works. Not only that, their sleep deepens, their brain becomes fabulous, their businesses increase, their joy increases, they reclaim themselves, they see the habits and the self-talk that doesn't serve them, and they learn how to nurture themselves with really deep love and become their best friend rather than a bully. Right. And the nervous system gets calmed down and restored. And I liken all the organs to like an orchestra, and each one is an instrument. So what happens in that time, and we change the mindset as well, is all of the orchestra instruments get in tune, and they get into harmony, and they come into balance. So they're working. So what happens, you become a fat burner. You become a deep sleeper. You become joyful. You become productive. You become vibrant and alive just naturally, right? And you make good choices, and you become a master of your food choices. You're no longer a slave to other people, to your food, to work. You are in the driver's seat. So you learn I call it riding the bike. So you learn how to ride the bike, and then you learn how to drive the bike. And that all happens in 8 weeks. And it's amazing. Like I just, it makes me cry. I love guiding people, but I just had a woman who completed her 42 days that I talked to yesterday. And she was nervous that it wouldn't work for her because she's tried everything, right? And what I love is that she's an autism specialist and works with children with autism, right? Mm-hmm. And she's tried everything. She put on that menopausal 20 pounds. She's tried everything. And she's even on thyroid medication, cannot drop weight. And she lost 10 pounds she lost 5 pounds the first week. And her goal was like, if I even lost 10, I'd be so happy. But by 42 days, she had lost 20 pounds and so many inches. And this is what made me cry. And she was sleeping like a baby, because before she didn't sleep, right? She had tons of energy, no more brain fog. And her body felt amazing, but she went shopping for a dress for her son's wedding. And she told me that instead of it being a stressful experience, it was a joyful, happy experience. And she thought that she needed like an 8, and the dress she ordered was a size 4. Because that's how her body changed in just 6 weeks.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. Feeling good in our body makes a big difference in the way we show up in the world. I just was talking to a client earlier today, and she said she's recently recognized from the work we're doing together that she's been sacrificing her body her entire life to meet the needs of others. And she's done. Yeah. She let go of a high-paying client this morning because she said, I'm done. I'm not sacrificing my body anymore for anybody else. I know. I was like, yes, own it, girl. There's more clients out there. So, so you integrate the liquid collagen and other products with the
yes, I do. And the reason I do is because because I do everything myself to see if it works. And when I did it, so I added it to my program to preserve lean muscle, and also that when you lose the weight, your skin tightens up, and it really works synergistically, because we have a product in our product line called Trim that also has half a daily dose of liquid biocell, and it has what's called CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, that's patented. It's very special. So what happens is it decreases the size of your fat cells. It prevents fat from crossing over the cell membrane, and it balances your cortisol levels, which is your stress, that's your belly fat. So it really goes after the brown fat, and it helps to balance your leptin and ghrelin, which are your hunger and satiation hormones, right? And then it actually helps you build lean muscle. So you lose fat and you gain muscle. So when I pair it with the reset, it's profound results. Like, I don't worry that they're just going to be amazing, right? And yeah, so it's just a really great partner for that. And it works, all by itself too. And my reset works without the program, but it's better with it. It's just like this beautiful synergy. And then the liquid, I also like to use the Logic brain boosting coffee in my reset because it helps to promote metabolism and weight loss as well, but you're growing new brain cells, and it puts you in an alpha brainwave state, which is your Zen state. And since I'm working with the nervous system, we want a calm nervous system. So I love the Logic. It totally restored my brain. I didn't even know that I needed that, and helped me with focus. I became more productive. But when we're learning how to nurture ourselves, it's really good to have some tools that support us until we can take control ourselves. And then sometimes we just we want high performance. So we put, race car fuel, right, in the car. Right? We use the high octane, high performance products to then optimize our body. And that's why I also love the liquid collagen, because the liquid collagen in and of itself too helps you burn fats and proteins, right? So, and it preserves that lean muscle. It helps you build lean muscle. I mean, for women 40 and up, it is tough to build muscle, and forget about when you get to 60 and 70, right? But even in my reset, when I'm seeing 70-year-olds build muscle and they're losing 25 pounds and they're staying there, right? Because one of the most things it's my age, I can't, or whatever. And it's things
menopause. They'll blame it on menopause or my age or so. Yeah, I hear this a lot.
Yeah.
So I will say, I'll just briefly say, I brought the liquid collagen. It's just like you said, Dr. Cherie, it's just 2 tablespoons a day total. It's delicious. There's some there's a few different formulas. We also have the liquid collagen in some body products. So I have quite a few here, but the one that I love the most is the daily moisturizer. To die for. Like, I love it. I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels. I love what it does to my face and my neck and my décolleté and all of that. So the company has been able to, you can, what I would say, if you're going to do anything, get the liquid collagen that you're going to drink every day. And then if you want to add on to that in terms of skincare products, there's a whole line of skincare products that contain the liquid collagen in it. Can you speak to that at all before we?
For sure. I love the skincare as well. It's just so you know, it's a Green Beauty award-winning line. It is non-toxic. I am really big about getting toxin out of women's self-care. And so is our CEO, Asma Ishak, right? And so it's amazing. And they work really well. And there's also a body firming foam that's to die for.
Body firming foam
and a self-tanning body firming foam that is all natural and not
tanning
lotions are very toxic. Oh yeah, and that's the lip. And instead of getting injections, you just put it
no injections, lip. We got two more. We might as well show we got the serum.
Yes.
Right. I love like taking care of my skin. I always have, but to know I'm taking care of my skin with something that's like not gonna poison me and make my liver overwork is huge. Right. And then this is better than
that actually is a plant-based alternative to retinol, which is toxic to women. And speaking of women, I had the privilege of listening to a recent webinar with one of my mentors, Dr. Bland, who became the father of functional medicine. And I studied with him 30 years ago when it wasn't even a thing, but it was all about the importance of collagen on the women's health continuum, right? And just just deepened it even more for me, how important it is for women, especially through pregnancy, perimenopause, postmenopause. It really shores up our bones, our skin. And, and honestly, I'm going to tell you, I know more of you will do it to look good than feel good, but I know that when you take it to look beautiful, and you're going to feel amazing because it will fill in your wrinkles from the inside out, right? And people will compliment you. You get that glow like women do when they're pregnant, right? I know it's going to be shoring up your organs. I know that it's going to be making your bones denser. I know that it's going to increase your lean muscle, which is a predictor of longevity. And we know years ago, Ozma told us that you anti-age 10 to 20 years. So I look at this as a foundational product line for longevity and to live long and prosper, right? And to thrive. We do not have to end up in wheelchairs. Just, yes, exactly. Right. Just like Riverstone movement, right? That it all works together, and it's going to even deepen it more. Right. So it's a perfect complement. And I think it's not, honestly, I was doing a call today, and I said, honestly, if I could only I was given one product, I think I would choose Liquid BioCell first and vitamin D second. Right. And then I'd go to OptiPack, because our vitamins, I'm a vitamin snob, but I got to tell you, those OptiPack vitamins are the bomb. They have a vitality complex, the multivitamin, they have the krill oil. Just the cost of the vitamins, because you can get a collection. This is what I love about the company. You buy collections and your cost goes down and down and down. And you put yourself on subscription, your cost goes down and down and down. And Leela can help you get the best deal, but I'm a deal maker. But you can get 2 bottles of the Liquid BioCell, and it brings the cost of the vitamins to like $30. It's like crazy. And they're just the krill oil alone in that, because it's so superior, would cost us $40 to $60 a month.
Wow. I love this, Dr. Cherie. Yeah, I mean, I love what you said is like, most of you that are listening now, you might want to do this because you want to look good, baby. I get it. And know that the bonus will make you feel good and longevity. Like, nobody wants to get old and crickety. Like, I know I don't want to get old and crickety, and that's why I'm on board. I've seen people get old and crickety. I've seen people not be able to walk around the grocery store and, and not be able to do the activities they want to do. And I have this like dream to one day host geriatric Olympics. I want to be doing field day when I'm old. So I want to be able to do cartwheels forever and stand on my hands forever, like I like to now. And so this is super important for me. Like you said, this is important for everybody, and women in particular. And we all know that women, in terms of like, their bone and strength challenges that they have when they're older is higher than men. And so I really appreciate you coming here today, Dr. Cherie. Really, I would say, if anybody's listening, if you're on a path of owning your worth and valuing yourself, and the fact that you're here listening to this, you are on that path, I would say, try this product, get it. We'll share it with you. Ask us questions. We're here to support you, like whatever you need. And Dr. Cherie is a wealth of knowledge. We could probably sit here for the next 3 days and continue to talk about this, because there's so much goodness here. But I know you have a lot going on, Dr. Cherie, so I want to be mindful of your time as well. And I really appreciate you sharing. Is there anything else that you want to share? If there's one, I always ask the people that I interview, women I interview, I say, if there's one thing you would tell all women who are on a path of owning their worth, what would that be?
That's a good one. First of all, drink your liquid collagen, because you're worth it.
You're worth it.
Right? Because that's going to allow you to become and be more of who you are in the world, and share your heart, because I do believe it's the feminine heart that will heal the planet. And that's so needed at this time. And to surround yourself with other women who own their worth, because that's a reflection, right? And to be a mentor. It's like one of the greatest compliments that I recently got was at my nephew's wedding. There was a young woman, and this is where it really hit home and why I'm saying this, because you want to know that everyone's watching, right? So the girls in your life, or even a girl that you don't know, are watching. And this young woman couldn't be more than 20 to 22 years old. And she came up with her mother and she said, I just had to come meet you. Because we're family extended, because she's from the bride's side, and right. But she goes, I've been watching you for several days, and you're just, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, your hair, your being, your joy. I want to be like you when I'm your age. It was the most humbling, honoring, and she was 1,000% sincere. And I went, oh my gosh, I had no idea. The influence we can have when we own our worth, it ripples out, and it actually gives a vision or a roadmap or a like something for others to aspire in their own self, who they can become, and the other women, right? So that is what I would say is, just let yourself shine, baby. Just let yourself shine.
Made me a little water in my eyes, Dr. Cherie. I have asked this question a lot for a number of years. And I've been doing interviews. I've asked this kind of question since about 2016. So about 7 years now. And I've never had anyone point out that you're influencing other women. Other women are watching. They'll speak to the woman, but they won't speak to the woman about the other women. And I love that. And it really touches my heart. And we all know that by example that we set, that it influences others. But this is a key. I just want everybody to hear that every single woman listening to this right now, know that the more you own your worth, the more you care for yourself and own your value, the more the ripple effect, the more you'll influence, and you never know who's watching. So keep going. Oh, and I love that. All these years, I've never heard that one. It's so good. So, all right, everyone, I will post a link to Dr. Cherie's information. I will share the liquid collagen with you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And Dr. Cherie, thank you today for everything you've shared. You're a blessing. If you are also a woman who wants to learn how to share liquid collagen and join our team of amazing women who are owning our worth, we are building our team and looking for those, heartfelt lovers of humanity women to grow and help other women, and men, of course.
Man is inside of woman, right?
Man. Yeah, we love men too. We are very much lovers of humanity. So just as a reminder, friends, this is your year. Step up and own your worth. We'll see you next time.
Love you.
Bye.